All right, so let's dive into this world
Okay.
that predates even the gods.
Right.
The world of primordial chaos,
Yes.
where Nyx, the Greek goddess of the night, reigns supreme.
Mm-hmm.
Now, we often think of the Olympian gods,
Yeah.
like Zeus,
Of course. Yeah.
but Nyx is different.
Very.
She is the night itself, a
Mm.
force so ancient
Yes.
and powerful
Mm.
that even Zeus treads carefully around her.
It's a fascinating concept, isn't it? The Olympians, with all their drama and power struggles, still have to answer to something older, something more fundamental.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And guiding us through this shadowy world
Yes.
is author Kevin Fink
Mm-hmm.
and his book NYX Goddess of the Night.
Mm-hmm.
This is the first in his Goddesses series,
Okay.
where he explores these compelling, often overlooked female figures from mythology.
What's intriguing about Fink is that he's not just a mythologist.
Right.
He's a seasoned storyteller with a diverse body of work, and you can feel that experience woven into NYX.
You're right. I was checking out his author page,
Okay.
and it's clear he's not afraid to experiment with different genres.
I see.
But there's this consistent thread of imagination,
Yeah.
deep character development,
Yeah.
and a fascination with history and myth.
Right.
Yeah.
That blend of creative storytelling and in-depth research is what makes NYX so captivating.
Yeah.
He doesn't just rehash the myths.
Right.
He delves into their origins,
Okay.
their symbolism,
Yeah.
and what they reveal about how the ancient Greeks viewed the world.
Okay, so before we get lost in the depths of Nyx's realm,
Right.
can you paint a picture of Kevin Fink for our listener? What kind of author brings a figure like Nyx to life?
Well, imagine someone who, even as a child in Dayton, Ohio, was already building worlds and crafting stories. That innate passion for narrative is evident throughout his work.
I see.
He's not just interested in what happens in a story,
Right.
but in why it happens and
Right.
what it reveals about the human condition.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
If you're going to tackle a figure as complex as Nyx,
Right.
you need that depth of understanding, that ability to connect the dots between ancient myth and modern relevance.
Precisely.
Yeah.
And Fink brings his background in literature and history to bear on NYX.
Right.
He weaves together different threads, ancient texts like Hesiod's, theogony, philosophical interpretations, even psychological insights, to create a richly textured portrait of the goddess.
So for our listener who might be picking up NYX for the first time,
Yeah.
what can they expect?
Right.
What makes this book stand out from, say, a simple encyclopedia entry on Nyx?
It's the difference between reading a dictionary definition of a word and experiencing that word in a poem or a song.
I see.
Fink doesn't just define Nyx, he evokes her. He brings her to life through vivid storytelling,
Right.
drawing the reader into her world of darkness, mystery, and power.
From what I've read, NYX doesn't shy away from the darker aspects of the goddess either. We're not just talking about a peaceful night sky here.
He explores the duality of Nyx, the beauty and tranquility of the night, but also its potential for danger and fear.
Right.
Remember, Nyx is the mother of deities like Thanatos, death, and Hypnos, sleep. These are primal forces that shape our existence, both in the ancient world and today.
Okay, so we've got Kevin Fink, the storyteller and scholar,
Right.
and his book NYX, which is more of an immersive experience
Yes.
than a dry textbook.
Absolutely.
Now let's finally step into the shadows
Okay.
and meet the goddess herself. Who is Nyx? Where does she come from?
Well, unlike the Olympian gods who were born from a lineage of titans,
Okay.
Nyx emerges directly from chaos.
Wow.
She's a primordial entity existing before the creation of the cosmos as we knew it.
Wow. So she predates even the concept of creation.
Yes.
That puts her in a whole different league.
It's a crucial distinction,
Yeah.
and Fink really emphasizes this in the book. Nyx isn't just a powerful goddess. She's a force of nature, an embodiment of the fundamental darkness that underpins existence itself.
It's like she's the fabric of the universe.
Yes.
And the Olympians are just embroidery on top of it.
That's a great way to put it.
Yeah.
And that's why even Zeus, the king of the gods,
Right?
treats her with respect bordering on fear. There's a story where Zeus wanted to punish Hypnos,
Okay.
Nyx's son, but when Nyx intervened,
Yeah.
Zeus backed down.
He knew not to mess with the primordial forces of the universe.
Right.
Okay, that's a powerful image.
Yeah.
Zeus, the thunder god, bowing to the power of Nyx.
Mm-hmm.
It tells you everything you need to know about her authority.
It's a reminder that power doesn't always come from brute force or a position of authority.
Right.
Sometimes it comes from simply existing, from being so deeply intertwined with the fabric of reality
Yeah.
that even the gods have to acknowledge your power.
All right, so we have NYX. Ancient, powerful, and even a bit intimidating. And I'm sensing there's a lot more to her story, layers of symbolism and meaning that we need to unpack.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, there's a lot there.
So let's delve into those layers.
Okay.
One of the things that struck me about NYX is how Fink connects this ancient goddess to the concept of the shadow self.
Oh, yeah.
That feels very modern.
Yes.
Very psychological.
It's a brilliant connection, and it speaks to Fink's ability to bridge the gap between ancient myth and modern thought.
Yeah.
He draws on the work of Carl Jung,
Okay.
who believed that we all have a shadow self, the part of us that contains the hidden, often uncomfortable aspects of our personality.
It's those traits and impulses we might try to repress or deny.
Right.
The things we don't want to admit to ourselves.
Exactly.
Let alone others.
And just as NYX embodies both the beauty and darkness of the night, our shadow selves contain both positive and negative qualities. Jung argued that by acknowledging and integrating our shadow, we can achieve wholeness, a more authentic sense of self.
So how does NYX, as a mythological figure, help us understand this psychological concept?
Fink uses NYX as a sort of archetype for the shadow self.
Okay.
He points out that the ancient Greeks didn't shy away from the darker aspects of their gods and goddesses. They understood that darkness was an integral part of existence, and that trying to deny or suppress it only made it more powerful.
It's like that old saying, what we resist persists.
Precisely.
Yeah.
And Fink argues that NYX, with her association with darkness, mystery, and the unknown, can actually guide us on the path of integrating our shadow selves.
That's a fascinating idea.
Yeah.
So instead of fearing or rejecting those darker parts of ourselves, we should try to understand them, to learn from them.
Exactly. It's not about condoning negative behavior.
But about recognizing that those impulses are part of what makes us human.
Yeah.
By acknowledging them, we can start to work with them to transform them into something positive.
Fink also talks about NYX as a symbol of feminine power.
Absolutely.
Which feels particularly relevant in today's world.
NYX stands in stark contrast to the patriarchal structure of the Olympian gods.
Okay.
She's not defined by her relationship to a male deity. She's a force unto herself.
She's not seeking anyone's approval or permission. She just is.
Exactly.
And there's a real power in that.
Yes.
Especially for women who are often told to downplay their strength or ambition.
NYX embodies a different kind of power. A power that comes from within. From being connected to the primal forces of the universe. It's a power that doesn't need to dominate or control, but simply to exist.
It makes me think of the quiet power of nature itself.
Yes.
The way a storm can reshape a landscape. Or the moon can control the tides. Exactly.
It's a force that's not loud or aggressive.
Yeah.
But undeniably powerful.
And that's the kind of power that NYX represents.
Okay.
It's a power that women, in particular, can tap into. A power that comes from embracing their intuition, their creativity, their connection to the natural world.
So we've got NYX as a guide for integrating our shadow selves. And as a symbol of feminine power.
Absolutely.
What other modern connections does Fink make in NYX?
He talks about the importance of reconnecting with the natural rhythms of life, particularly the cycle of day and night. In our modern world, we're constantly bombarded with artificial light and stimulation. We've lost touch with the darkness, with the silence and stillness that the night offers.
You're so used to being on all the time, connected to our devices, that we forget the importance of rest and rejuvenation.
And NYX, as the embodiment of the night, reminds us of the necessity of darkness. It's in the darkness that we sleep, that we dream, that our subconscious mind can process the experiences of the day.
It's like the night is a time for our minds and bodies to recharge.
Exactly.
Sandosa.
And by denying ourselves that darkness, we're actually depleting ourselves.
Exactly.
Fink argues that by embracing the darkness, both literally and metaphorically, we can tap into a source of creativity, intuition, and spiritual renewal. He encourages us to find those moments of quiet, to disconnect from the constant noise and stimulation, to simply be present with the darkness.
Yeah, it resonates with me.
Yeah.
I know that when I make time to be in nature,
right,
to experience the quiet of the night, I feel more grounded.
Absolutely.
More connected to myself and the world around me.
It's a powerful practice.
Yeah.
And one that NYX, as the goddess of the night, can help us cultivate.
So it seems like NYX is more than just effects from Greek mythology.
Right.
She's an archetype, a symbol,
Yeah.
a guide for navigating the complexities of modern life.
And that's what makes Fink's NYX such a compelling read.
Yeah.
It's not just a retelling of ancient myths. It's an exploration of their enduring relevance.
Right.
A way of understanding ourselves and the world around us through the lens of this ancient and powerful goddess.
We've covered a lot of ground here.
We have.
And yet I feel like we've only just begun to scratch the surface of NYX's realm.
Oh, there's so much more.
What are some of the other key takeaways that you think will stay with our listener?
I think the biggest takeaway is that NYX, in all her complexity and darkness, offers us a new way of looking at the world.
Okay.
She challenges us to embrace the duality of existence,
Right.
to acknowledge the darkness within ourselves and in the world around us, and to find power and meaning in the unknown.
She's a reminder that there's more to life than what we can see and control,
Right.
that the unseen forces, the mysteries that lie beneath the surface are just as important as the things we can quantify and explain.
And she invites us to step into the darkness, not with fear, but with curiosity and a willingness to learn and grow.
It's a powerful invitation.
It is.
And one that I think we all need to hear in a world that often tries to banish the darkness and pretend it doesn't exist.
Fink's NYX, Goddess of the Night, is a powerful reminder that the darkness has its own beauty, its own wisdom, and its own power.
Well said.
Yeah.
And it seems that our journey into NYX realm isn't over yet.
No, not at all.
There's more to explore.
Absolutely.
More insights to uncover. It's interesting to think that for many of us, NYX might have been just a passing mention in a mythology class, or a name we vaguely recognize.
Right.
But Fink really elevates her to this archetype of enduring power and relevance.
That's the beauty of a deep dive like this.
Yeah.
We take a figure that might seem obscure or distant and discover how deeply connected they are to our present-day experiences.
And NYX, Goddess of the Night, is just the beginning, right?
Yes. This is the first book in Fink's Goddesses series, which suggests a whole pantheon of powerful female figures waiting to be explored.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Fink's intent with this series is to shine a light on goddesses from various cultures and mythologies.
Okay.
Goddesses who, like NYX, have often been misunderstood or marginalized.
Right.
He wants to reveal their complexity, their power, and their enduring relevance to modern life.
It makes me think about how often history is told from a male perspective.
Right.
These goddesses represent a different way of understanding the world.
Yes.
A different kind of power.
Absolutely.
A different set of values.
And those perspectives are so important to explore, especially now.
Right.
As we grapple with issues of gender equality, female empowerment, and the need for more balanced and holistic ways of thinking.
Right.
These goddesses offer a wealth of wisdom and insight.
So what can our listeners expect from the Goddesses series as a whole?
What kind of journey is Fink inviting us on?
It's a journey of discovery, both personal and cultural. Fink isn't just interested in recounting myths.
Right.
He wants to understand what those myths tell us about ourselves, about our relationships with each other, and about our place in the cosmos.
It's like he's using mythology as a lens to examine the human condition.
Exactly.
To explore the timeless questions that have always fascinated us. Questions about life and death.
Yes.
Love and loss.
Right.
Good and evil.
And by looking at those questions through the eyes of these powerful goddesses, we gain new perspectives, new ways of understanding the world and our place in it.
So if our listener is intrigued by NYX, by the power of the feminine, by the idea of exploring ancient wisdom through a modern lens, what's the next step?
Well, diving into Kevin Fink's work is a great place to start.
Right.
NYX, Goddess of the Night, is a captivating read, and the Goddesses series promises to be just as enriching and thought-provoking.
It's an invitation to expand our understanding of mythology, to see beyond the surface of these ancient stories, and discover the timeless truths they hold.
And perhaps in the process to discover something new about ourselves. About the power that lies within us, and about the interconnectedness of all things.
It's a journey worth taking.
It is.
So to our listener,
yes,
we encourage you,
Yeah.
Embrace the darkness, seek out the wisdom of the goddesses, and let Kevin Fink be your guide on this fascinating exploration.
Until next time, keep questioning,
Yes.
keep learning,
Right.
keep diving deep.